I also want to bring in Chief Foreign Correspondent Richard Engel, who is joining us by phone. Richard, what do you know, or what context can you put to this?
Well, at this stage, we really only know what the Russian media are reporting, but they are all reporting it consistently, that there has been a plane crash. That's how they are describing it, just as you were describing it, that an Embraer jet was traveling from Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport to St. Petersburg and crashed less than 30 minutes after takeoff, according to the TASS news agency. And it does seem very suspicious. Many of us who followed Prigozhin closely thought that this would eventually be his fate, that he rose up against Vladimir Putin, he embarrassed Vladimir Putin, he led an unthinkable, unheard of mutiny against the Kremlin, and then it ended very strangely. It ended with this vague deal in which he was supposed to go to Belarus, but then he was in Africa and his movements were somewhat vague, and the people that I've been speaking to believed that Putin was buying time, that Putin couldn't have just enacted his revenge right away, that he needed to understand who was involved in the mutiny, and there are several senior Russian generals who've been implicated in that mutiny who have gone missing, so that he needed to understand who else was involved or may have been involved. And he also needed to have a better understanding of Prigozhin's business network, particularly his network in Africa, where in the Central African Republic and many other countries in the Sahel, he has a valuable network providing security services, or I should say he had a valuable network providing security services in exchange for mineral rights, in exchange for gold and diamond concessions. So we all were expecting something like this, and it's not surprising that the Russians are describing it as an accident, but I don't think very many people in Moscow, in Russia, will be interpreting this as a simple accident, that his plane, a private plane, was flying over Russian airspace and then suddenly crashes before takeoff, before land.